Okay, I think we'll start. It's already 6:20. A warm welcome to Abode Masters, Brother Joe Huang, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. Recently, disasters have happened so rampantly, one after another, due to the great imbalance of four elements. Now, with the COVID-19 virus pandemic around the world, Masters have great concern and earnestly urge everyone to repent and adopt vegetarian meal. Going vegetarian is a way to express our sincere piety, to pray for peace and a world free of disasters. It is the purest way of love for all living beings. Now let us send our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Sahara land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. From my heart, I pray. May we join our hands, our hearts as one. Spread the seeds of great love, nurture wisdom evermore. Let us fill the world with hope. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas know my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in this world. Together we pray for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the Brother David's session, let us invite our board masters to lead us in paying homage to Triple Gems. Let us pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved upward masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have Brother David Liu Q&A session, and followed by Brother Joe Huang on Dharma Discussion. Before we start, let us invite Sister Su Ching for weekly summary. Sister Su Ching, over to you. Ka'an.
Okay, I'm gonna set up my. Last week we had Sister Huing and Sister Moon. Sister Huing related stories that she had encountered and heard, stories about the poor and the needy all over the world, counting blessings from the stories that she spoke of, from the many corners of the world that Tzu has given love. A few lessons, simple yet profound, are summarized by fellow volunteers as the sharing went around. Life is between breaths and seconds. Cherish every moment as impermanence is real, I reckon. Because of this, use every moment to do good whenever you can. Be connected to the right group and get others connected too. It's a good plan. See joy, seize and give happiness whilst maintaining the human touch. Learn from those happy with so little and not from those unhappy with so much. Giving is not a privilege of just the rich. Every and anyone can lend a hand and be a connecting bridge. Every effort counts. We are droplets to a big, big sea. One project leads to another, and the spin-offs are encouraging more to join the Tzu family. Sister Huiying contemplated about the purpose of her sharing, that it cannot be another moment that is fleeting. Her mission was to make it a calling to inspire another with stories that are shared, making the world a bit better a step at a time by souls of those who care. And we had Sister Chow Yok and team where they shared about the activities they did with the Rawang refugees. Sister Chow Yok spoke of many events during Ramadan involving refugees that recently happened in Rawang by her and the volunteers in the community. Apart from giving of items to the families, volunteers also shared the bamboo bank with eagerness and energy. The purpose was to inspire people to give regardless of the amount. An act of giving has no credit counted in an invisible account. Surprisingly, and yet not, the spirit of the bamboo bank is easily embraced. So this initiative is successfully welcomed with much enthusiasm and grace. Another project was to bridge discard of recycled items. What were discards to one make another face brighten. There were treasures of clothes and toys and products that these families can use, bridging discards to people who need them and lessening garbage and refuse. The goal that is gotten is not just in monetary terms, but the golden pure stream of joy to refugees. The consensus is that planting of good seeds everywhere must be supplemented with the introduction of lessons of love and care. From vegetarian bento meals to environmental protection efforts too, each act not only benefits the recipient, but the volunteer giver too. Lessons of humility and gratitude are constantly repeated by those who spoke. Such was the power of the sharing last Saturday by the team led by Sister Fabio. That is my sharing for this week. About last week's one, I hand over to Sister Kaping to introduce the next speaker. Sister Kaping, over to you. And then. I think you got to turn on your video, your audio, sorry.
Yes. Morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning, Brother David.
Good morning. Can you
Hi.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, brother.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
today
Okay.
we have some very interesting questions for you.
Mm,
Yeah, the first question is, I'm a city volunteer and a vegetarian. Can I consider myself as upholding the first precept of no killing? At times, I kill insects to prevent them from harming my house and my family. Is this okay? Yeah, when mosquitoes bite you, do you ask them to
Okay.
go away, or do you beat them? Yes, Brother David, over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Today is a shining day in Taiwan and also the public holiday in Taiwan for the 端午节. So now Southeast country, most of the Southeast country, they already open for the pandemic, right? No any restrictions. So we'll be coming back to the normal life as before. But Taiwan still have some regulation for the prevention of the pandemic. But I think in July, maybe they will the government start to relax the regulation. I think so, yeah, because this it become a trend now. All the country now they take this virus as a normal flu. So but Taiwan still in a hard time now. We are waiting for the 高峰啊，等这个确诊的高峰啊，过了以后啊 ，maybe in July then we will be same as the other country. At that time, then we can start to think over whether we can go abroad, and all of you then we can think of coming back to Taiwan. I think so. Can start to plan. Okay, we already have 2 years hard time, so everything will be back to the normal. We hope so. Okay. The first question, the first one. I am a Su Ching volunteer and a vegetarian. Can I consider myself as upholding first precept of killing? Of course, this is the precept of the Su Ching, among Su Ching 10 precepts. The first one, no killing, no killing. Okay, now vegetarian, we don't have this problem, right? Because we eat veg, we don't kill, we don't eat meat. So this, of course, he said, can I consider myself as upholding first precept of killing? Yeah, this of course. But I think the second question will be, we have to explain some more, because this also pertaining to the correct face, correct thinking. He asked, at times I kill insects to prevent them from harming my house and my family. Is this okay? I think so many people have this kind of problem, because we are at home, especially in hot weather country like Malaysia, Singapore, right? There are so many insects, like the cockroach, mosquito. Can we kill them? Because if we don't kill them, then they in our house give our so many trouble. Okay. Killing insects directly. Suppose you use the mosquito repellent to spray to them. This we kill directly. This also belongs to kill life. And against the precept of no killing. Okay. But we can think one condition. Our house cannot be bigger than the kitchen in abode, in Hualien abode. The kitchen is quite big, and they have to store large quantity of food, and they have to cook 3 meals and each meal, a lot of people eating. So, but you can hardly, you hardly can see any cockroach or mosquito or any insects in the kitchen. But mosquito we have, because we have Xiao Jinggang, or if you came to above before, right? There are so many small mosquitoes, you cannot feel it, you know. Until they bite you, you feel very itching, then you know, this is mosquito. Otherwise, you cannot discover them, you know. But for the others, and in abode, 10 years already for me, I didn't see anyone cockroach, not only in kitchen, in other abode area as well. No. So sometimes I also wonder why in the kitchen of abode, the kitchen is quite spacious. Why not many insects? At least in our house, we can see, sometimes we can see the cockroach in our house, but in abode I never see, you know. How they do it? We can think how the master they do it. Only one method: keep it clean. So I found the master, after finish one meal, they clean the whole, no, one day, okay, one day. Okay, the morning, then the dinner finish, okay, they clean all the kitchens, very clean. And the design for the kitchen in abode also very organized, very efficient. Okay, now all the units under the floor, so they can easily clean the kitchen. Okay. This is a situation we can think about, how the abode they keep so clean and prevent so many insects coming. Yeah. But the other one, there is a situation. If we found there are worms in the trunk of a big and old tree, okay, what should we do? What should we do? If the tree gets sick in the trunk, they get the worm inside. How should we do? And this tree is more than 100 years old tree. How you do it? If you don't kill the worms, then this big tree will gradually die. But if we kill the worms, this is killing life. So what can we do? Somebody asked master this question, and master didn't directly answer this question, but only ask everybody, if you get sick, did you go and see doctor? Of course, right? Even now, the COVID-19, if anybody confirmed get the virus, then he has to go to the hospital to do something, right? To recover. Yeah. So if we get sick, of course, we must go and see doctor. And what the doctor will do, everybody has this experience, right? Either take injection or take medicine. But all these are killing the virus. The doctor give you injection and give you medicine. Why? Because medicine and injection can kill the virus, against the virus. But if you think killing the virus is the same as the killing life, then we cannot get healed. We can get healed because we take the medicine, we take the injection to kill the virus. We're strong and the virus become weak. So we conquer them. That's why we get healed. If you don't do this, you get sick, but you don't go and see doctor, you don't take injection or medicine, then we might be died, right? We cannot get healed, and we might be died, right? So in this case, this is not killing life. said my master, okay, if we sick, we have to take medicine to kill the virus. But this is not killing the life. Its meaning is different. But in our house, if we spray repellent to the insect, this is directly killing the life. It's not good. But the only one way, same as the kitchen in abode. Always keep it clean. If we don't keep clean, not only the mosquito or the cockroach come in, maybe the mouse will come in also, right? Yeah. So this is the way how the master do it. Okay. Is it clear now? Is it clear?
Yeah, Brother David, I have a question, right? Yes,
Okay.
keeping clean is very, very important to prevent
Yes.
them from coming. But if you can take the other preventive measures, for example, when I go out to the field, I will spray myself with mosquito repellent so that they don't come to me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Or the people, now like for mosquito fogging, or there are methods to stop mosquitoes from breeding. Is that okay? You stop them from breeding. Or you have got, every 3 months, the, rental kill will come and spray insecticide so that, the insects don't come. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think all of us has experience. If we keep it clean and we don't want to kill them directly, okay, maybe we spray the mosquito repellent in advance, right? Even we clean the house, but in the corner, in the dark area, we spray the mosquito repellent in advance. But this we don't kill them directly, but they will die also, right? Because you spray repellent in the corner, in the dark area, this effect still existing. So if the cockroach or the mosquito, they pass by there, they'll get infected also. They will die, right? But if you put the something like the how to say 那个什么卫生的那个什么那个消毒药水的消毒药水怎么讲？消毒药水 something like the Savilon,
like Dettol?
Yeah.
Dettol, right?
Yeah. That cannot kill the insects. You spray this liquid at the house, right? They have smell. They are not very strong and can kill the insect, but they have smells. So if the cockroach or the mosquito, they pass by there, if they smell, the smell is not good, they will fly away.
So
But
it's like keeping them away rather than killing
keep them away. Yes.
Okay.
But you put the mosquitoes repellent in the advance. This will also kill them, right? Sometimes at the night time, we spray mosquito plant, cockroach repellent around the kitchen area. But next day morning, we see the cockroach die there, right? Because they pass by there, right? But you put the liquid, 那个什么消毒药水啊，消毒药水。
The
That
Dettol,
one okay.
Right?
Yeah, that one okay. That won't kill the insects. So you have to use the right method. This is not difficult. You can see the abode, they can do it successfully, right? They don't use any repellent. They just clean. They don't even put the 消毒水啊。They don't even spray or use the chemical liquid to clean the kitchen. No, they just keep it very clean. That's all, and this can prevent so many insects coming.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now we go to our second question.
Okay.
My son has relationship with another young man. I'm really troubled, and so are his partner's parents. So the question is, how do we talk our sons out of this? And secondly, what is the karmic retribution of same-sex relationship?
Okay. I don't know how many times you joined Su Ching. For me, 30 years. But I never heard Master talking about the game. No, I never heard. No. But some other master, they also mentioned about the problem of the game. But we can see according to the Buddhism, they have the concept of the game. Even they have the answer. But I think this kind of concept stand for the Buddhist religions. 他们的立场啊 ，standing 的是吧
Their circumstance.
According to the Buddhism, there are 4 reasons to be gay or lesbian. 是不是？女生叫 lesbian 是不是？
Yes， 也是同性恋啊。
同性恋啊 ，gay 是男生啊 ，lesbian 是女生啊，是吧？啊，
对。
There are 4 reasons to be gay or lesbian. Okay. In those people's past life. Okay. First one, ridicule or slander others. If he is a gay or lesbian, the first reason is in his past life, he ridicule or slander others. The second one, he liked to wear women's clothes. Third, fornication with the blood relative. 跟有血缘关系的 not only with other people, blood relative. 这个中文有点像叫什么乱伦呐，fornication with a blood relative. 4, 就是说他没有很好的德行，却接受别人的礼拜了。He accepts the worship of others without great virtues. This is the number 4. He doesn't have great virtue, but he still accepts some other people worship to him. This is something wrong. That's why we say, if somebody worship to us, we will say, this 这个是损我的德啦，对不对 ？How to say 损德啊
？According to virtues.
Yeah, no. If we say like us, right? We are not the master, right? We are home holders, right?
Yeah, lay practitioners.
Yeah, 我们是代家居士。
We are householders.
We don't have high virtue as the master, right?
Not deserving that kind of respect yet.
Yeah, but we accept other people worship to us. We don't want to accept, right? Because we always say, 我们何德何能啊? I don't have good virtue, but how can I accept other people worship to me? This is something like the destroy my virtue.
So accepting something that we are still not deserving is actually
yes, yeah.
You
don't deserve
our virtues, right?
Yeah, you don't deserve it, but you are not the high virtue as the masters, right? You still have so many bad depends 那个什么习气啊
afflictions.
Not only afflictions, yeah.
We still are
习气
very ignorant.
Dependence 是吧？那个什么习气怎么讲
We still have a lot of habitual tendencies. 习气
Yeah. Tendency, yeah. Habitual tendency. We still have so many bad habitual tendency, right? So in this case, we cannot accept other people worship to us. Also, if we join the somebody's funeral, right? We don't chant. We don't chant the sutra. We only 助念. 我们 only can 我们只可以助念啊，we only can 助念
Send blessing, right?
and send blessings only. I mean, for the householder, if you join the funeral, right, you cannot chant the sutra because you have so many bad tendency. You don't have high virtue. You don't have any power to chant the sutra for the passed away people. No, you only can 助念. So you can see in our 持句是助念, we only chant the 什么啊？南无本师释迦牟尼佛嘛，对不对？
对。
we only can 只可以助念，不能够诵经呐。
Okay, so which means that we are not that high level in our power to chant sutra,
right.
but we can still send our blessing as lay people.
Right. So this explanation is pertaining to the number 4. Accepting the worship of others without great virtue. The total, we have 4 reasons why some people become a gay or lesbian. Okay, and this volunteer
what
say,
do you do though? I mean, the question is, how do they talk their sons out of this? I mean, so this is from the past life courses. Do they just accept it, or how do they try and change the plan a different course now for different conditions later?
Yes. So some parents, they discover their son or daughter has this problem, right? Then how they solve this problem, right? Okay, how do we talk to our son out of this? How to persuade?
对，
这个哈 although the homosexuality is legal in many countries. I don't know in Malaysia whether it's legal or not. Not legal.
It's not legal. So same-sex marriage.
In Taiwan is only one who take the homosexuality legal. Taiwan is the first one. Okay, but some other country, European country or America, right? They take the homosexuality is legal. Some other country that I mean, but still need to let your son know the truth. Although in our country, this homosexuality is legal, but we still have to let our son know the truth. Why you become a gay or a lesbian? Must let him know the truth. This is what Buddha said, the 4 reasons to be gay. Let them know, according to the Buddhism. However, the affinity of sentient beings is quite complicated. Like us, everybody's affinity is something to do with our past life. And everybody's past life, the affinity of past life is different. Everybody's different. So the affinity of sentient beings is very complicated. And everyone also has his cause and effect. Why this life you become a gay or lesbian, right? This is something to do with the past life's cause and effect. So actually, not only these 4 reasons only, still has his past life affinity, which is not good one. His affinity in his past life is not good. That's why this life become a gay or lesbian. Yeah. Although the homosexuality is personal freedom, right? We don't want to criticize because some country is legal. That means it's okay. So it is personal freedom. As long as no harm to others, the normal people will neither interfere nor discriminate. At least in Taiwan, we don't discriminate these people because they are legal. Okay. So this cannot say good or bad, If not good, why are some country they take it as legal? right? Some other countries take it as it's illegal. Okay. So, but we still have to let our son or our daughter know the truth. You cannot force, because it is something to do his or her past life affinity. You can against it. Okay. The number third, what is the karma retribution? The karma of the retribution of the same-sex relationship. What is the karma retribution of the same-sex relationship? From religious point of view, the consequences are serious. Although this is illegal in your country or other country, although this is illegal, but the consequence of gay or lesbian are serious. Gay sins a lot, may go to hell. This is the retribution. Gay or lesbian, they sin a lot, may go to hell. 他的福报，他的报应就是 go to the hell.
That's
So try
retribution.
Sorry?
The retribution.
Yeah, the retribution.
Impacts.
Yeah, quite serious, because go to hell. So try to let your son or daughter know more about Buddhism. Because for Buddhism, we have this kind of theory, this truth. Must let your son or daughter know more about Buddhism. Okay. If he is not Buddhist or she is not Buddhist, you try. Maybe you don't have to mention about the religion, but you have to let them know the truth. Why you become a gay or lesbian? This is the truth. You must know. You cannot do it, but you still have to know this is the truth. Maybe some other time he know more about the Buddhism, know about the truth. He will know this is not good for him, right? Because inner devil need Dharma medicine. Not some other people force him to be a gay or lesbian. No, he himself become a gay or lesbian. Why? Why cause from himself? Inner devil need Dharma medicine. Inner devil means that you become a gay or lesbian. Why? From your inside, your heart. Okay? Because we say the father and mother, 父母只能够生孩子的身啊. The body can be born by your parents, right? But the heart cannot be.
The mind,
right?
the soul.
Yeah, mind and soul. The body can be born by your mother, right? But the mind and soul is something to do with your past life. This nothing can control by your father or mother or your parents. No. Your parents has your parents' past life. You have your past life. Everybody has different past life. That this is the truth, right? So become a gay or lesbian. This is your inner devil. Inner devil need the Dharma medicine. Let him conquer himself. This is very important. Nobody can help him. We only can let him know the truth, tell him the truth by wondrous Dharma. Right? If he is sensitive, you say something to him for the gay and lesbian issue. If he is sensitive, maybe you can use the wondrous Dharma, 用善巧的方式, use some other
skillful
nice
means.
way. Huh?
Skillful means.
Skillful means, yeah. Use skillful means. Avoid he become very sensitive. No. Okay. And let him know the truth. But eventually, the one who can conquer himself is he himself. Yeah. The devil is caused from the heart and must be solved from the heart as well. Right? Like us, our personnel problems 人事问题啊 or gossip happen from the crowd, and master say, you want to solve this gossip or the personnel issue, you still have go back to the crowd to find the reason and solve the problem in the crowd. Go into the crowd, solve the problem also in the crowd. You cannot keep away from the crowd. Same thing. Yeah. So the devil is caused from your heart and must be solved from your heart as well. We have tell our son or daughter this. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
have one other similar one question. What about for those people who decided that they want to change their sex, from women to become men, or from men become women, 换他的性啊？
对，嘿，
那也是怎么样解析呢？
一样啊 ，same the story. You must let our son or daughter know why this life become a gay or lesbian. This is something to do with your past life, especially this reason is causing from your heart. But we cannot force him, like you say, from his childhood. He like to, if he is your son, right? But why he like to be a girl? This must have his cause, and this cause is from his past life. So we cannot just teach him, no, you cannot be a gay, you cannot be a lesbian. This will be 把事情搞砸了啦。This cannot solve the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, very calm and very rational. 同理他啦。You must be rational.
Empathetic, right? Empathetic.
Empathy. You have to do empathy to him, right? Because he cannot control himself. Because this is from his past life, he cannot control. Just like sometimes we cannot control our tendency as well, right? We know this is not good habit, but we cannot improve, right? Same thing. So at this time, you cannot see, okay, he become a gay, a lesbian, this is not good. Only teach him, you have to change, you have to improve this very bad way. You have tried to be empathy with him and let him know the story. If he knows more about the Buddhism or know about the true faith, the true story, in his heart, he will start to think from this behavior in my country or in my family, still not accepted by other people. But why I become a gay or lesbian? This is not good for me and for my family as well. So he start to
reflect.
He start to reflect himself and try his best to change something, maybe. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a tough problem in every family, but we have to use wisdom to solve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our third question.
Okay.
I love to do Tzu Chi activities and respect Sangren. At the same time, I prefer listening to other Dharma masters' teachings. I also love to do meditation as believe it is a better way to calm the mind. A senior volunteer told me that if I prefer other Dharma masters' teaching, I should not be in Tzu Chi. Is that true? If yes, then why are there disciples of other faiths in Tzu Chi?
This is a very good question. No, this senior volunteer is wrong, not very true. We cannot say wrong or true, actually, but this is not very true. Not very true. It depends. It depends. Normally, if you are a certified Tzu Chi commissioner, you're already certified by Master Ching, then not suggested to participate other Buddhist organizations' activities, including other masters' teaching. You know why? This is something like before marriage, we can make so many boy or girl's friend, right? We can have many. But until you choose one, want to marry to him or to her, you only can choose one, right? You cannot before marriage, you have so many boys or girls friends. But after marriage, I want to keep those boy or girls friends together. No, this is not good for your marriage. Before, because you are under selection, so you have so many friends for your choice, right? But when you want to marry, you have choose one from among these boys or girls friends. Choose one only. Then after marriage, you have kept one wife or one husband only. And before, you have so many friends. That is the first stage. But now the second stage is already married. So the condition and the situation is different. You cannot be, I want to keep all these boys and girls friends. There will be something wrong, right? Okay. This because as a Su Ching commissioner, if you are a Su Ching commissioner already certified, while you are certified by Master Ching in the ceremony, you are told to be 佛心施治，一心一事, right? When you wear the gown and you go up to go up to the stage in front of the master will give you a name card, volunteer card.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, give you a card. And in your left chest there is a 那个怎么讲？那个是什么东西啊？那个 a badge, right? A badge, right? With write down 佛心施治 4 words, right? Tell you 一心一志啊。Focus
That
in
heart
one.
is my heart. Master's mission
your
is
heart
my
in my heart.
mission.
Yeah. Your heart in my heart. Your mission is my mission. Yes. This means you have to keep your root focus. Only choose one, right? Okay.
But if you are not a commissioner yet, you are still free, therefore, to listen to other.
Okay, let me explain. Okay, you after you certify, you become Master Ching Yen's disciple at home, not disciple at the temple or abode. You are a disciple at home because we are home holder. However, if you are just an apprentice volunteer or you just a training volunteer, 在见习或者是培训, or you just a normal volunteer, not apprentice or not training, just sometime come once in a while to do the volunteer. Okay, maybe this kind of volunteer. Now, that means you are still finding the way to cultivate something, just like you are finding the right person to marry with something. If you are not apprentice or training or normal, just a normal volunteer, okay, that means you are still finding the right way for you to cultivate. Which one is better for me, is more suitable for me. Chanting the sutra or going to the Bodhisattva path, okay, or 念经, 拜佛, 持赞, 持咒, 闭关, so many different skillful means. Which one you want to choose for you to cultivate? You are under this condition. You not yet confirm and decide which one you want to follow. In this case, then no limit. If you are in this condition, no limit. You want to go 1 or 2 or more than 10 temples as you like, because you are under selection. This is a very important concept of learning Buddhism. But here is a very important concept of learning Buddhism. That is to follow a teacher with one heart and one mind, to walk in the Dharma path only, never go to a second one, never to listen to another master, so that our genuine faith can form roots and remain focused. This is very important if you want to learn Buddhism. Must have this kind of principle. But if your foot always on diverse boat, your 2 foot always on diverse boat, 这个会让你的这个心怎么样？乱纷纷呐。
The mind will be scattered.
Yeah, and very chaotic. Your mind will be very chaotic, right? 2 feet, 2 feet in one boat only, not 2 foot on 2 boats.
Okay.
一心一志的 one heart, one mind. But if you want, after you are certified as a commissioner, you have to keep vigilant of this principle. But if you are not certified commissioner, you are just a apprentice or training or normal volunteer, no, this limit as you like. You choose, maybe you choose maybe 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, until you decide which school, which way of the cultivation you like. Okay, maybe after 10 years, okay, I choose Su Ching. Once you choose Su Ching to cultivate yourself, then you better not to go anywhere, any other second temple or listen to second master teaching. No. But we can find the truth. Some certified commissioners, even they already certified, but they still go to other temple to join the activities. He still go to other temple to listen to second master teaching. We found some case like this, but this is not, although this is not good, but for Master Ching to say, I remember the KL team came back to Taiwan to meet Master, talking about the criteria of certify the commissioner. They mentioned about this problem. Although he is under training, but now is the time for recommendation, for her recommendation. But she had this problem. She's under training, but still go to the other Buddhist temple to participate in the activities. How to do? But for Master Ching Yen to say, she said, what did her do? They say she joined she go and participate the real Buddhist activities. For Master Ching Yen's 他的 mind, she cannot say no, cannot, right? Because Master Ching Yen is very open-minded. She cannot say no, cannot go. Even she already certified. Master cannot say so. Master still say, and that's still good because she's still doing the Buddhist activities. But this is all for Master. But if everybody like this case, then how to this Su Ching Foundation become what kind of condition? Something wrong, right? So many commissioners in Su Ching, they always go to other temple to join the activities. Then for Master to say how to integrate those manpower, how to because those people always go everywhere. The power already 怎么样分散掉了，这怎么讲？ Disintegrated.
So you cannot
dispersion, right?
Dispersion, yeah, okay.
Already the power already dispersed. It's in dispersion, right? Not good for the group. Also not good for yourself, because your power is not focused in one place. Already in dispersion, right? So this is a very important concept. So cannot say can or cannot, right? Yeah. But according to the system of Su Ching, after certified, better we cannot say no, but because this is not army, this is the group for cultivation. We only can suggest you better don't, if you certified commissioner, better don't go other second master or second temple. No, better don't. But if you insist, We cannot say, we cannot force you, cannot, right? But this is no good for you and no good for the group. But since you come to learn Buddhism, you have to know to follow the principle and follow the master's teaching. Right? All the masters say so, not only Master Ching Yen. For other Buddhists, to other Buddhist masters, same thing. Better follow one master, follow one teacher. Don't go to the second one. If two master or more master, their teaching is different. Which one you want to choose and follow? For you, become a very chaotic situation, right? You get confused. Which one I have to follow, right? So
Master, Brother David, I hope
Yes.
I'd like to share some thinking. What you are
Okay.
saying.
Okay.
Am I able to share my opinion?
Yeah, quick one,
Okay,
because we
okay,
have a
okay.
next question, Brother David. Yeah.
Because I think this is very, very important before you go to the next question. Because I'm not from Su Ching, okay. That's why I want to make share this thinking from what Brother Liu mentioned. Of course, it's very important. I will never say that it is wrong to say that you should focus on one master.
Yes, yes.
That is taken for sure. But
Yeah.
also have in my mind to say that if the people has become a commissioner, they should not go to listen to other masters or even participate in other activities. I believe that would be a little bit oversaying. Because why? I'm very happy to listen to Master Ching Yen's teaching. I'm also having other masters. And being a Buddhist practitioner, I believe that all Buddhist religion have the one same goal. That goal is to make sure that everybody get liberated
Attain Buddhahood.
To attain Buddhahood. That's the ultimate goal. I believe master will not defer anybody from attending different masters' teaching as long as it is enlightening and it's a truth spoken by the Buddha, whether it's for the Hinayana, for the Mahayana, or even the Vajrayana. So there are many, many masters. But to say that you should not go and compare it to a marriage to a wife, we are comparing mundane practices of a human being to the spiritual Dharma practices of wholesomeness, okay, as well as to know the Dharma in the different aspects and the different elevated views of the so-called enlightened people. We are, as a normal people, are not enlightened, but if we forbid others people to attend other teaching, which can elevate them, I think that's wrong. I will not agree.
Brother, I know your point of view.
Right.
You are the one, just I say, you are not focusing in one
okay, as long as your heart is pure,
okay, you are not focusing.
As long as your heart is pure, you will focus on any master who give you the right teaching. But no other masters will teach you the wrong thing.
Yes, yes,
I agree with you. You can differentiate right and wrong. So my suggestion is please do not say compare marrying a wife to Dharma. That is wrong. That is very, very wrong. I would not agree to marrying a wife to learning the Dharma.
But you are not in Su Ching, so you don't know the regulation of Su Ching. Every temple has his regulation.
Oh, Mani Padme Hum. I think master will not say that you are not in Su Ching, you cannot listen to other master. I will say that very strongly in my belief. Because if you say that, that means you are forbidding other faiths to come to Su Ching. Then you still accept other faiths to come to Su Ching. That is something wrong. That is your interpretation, and I don't think master will interpret. Please ask master. But I will say that master will not say yes or no because it can be accepted. But if you prevent people from learning Dharma from others, that is wrong.
You are right.
Okay.
You are right. Because
I think,
that's my sharing.
Because all master cannot say so. You come to me, you cannot go to other second master, second teacher. All the master won't say so. But
no, I believe in praying loyalty, sincerity, and honest to the practice. But you can be pure with the Dharma, but you cannot be segregating other people from coming to the Dharma. No, once you segregate other people from coming to the Dharma, you are having what we call selfish Dharma.
No. I agree with you, but you are not in Su Ching. For me, I focus in one master, Ching Yen only. Okay? But one thing, you are not wrong. I can say you are not wrong. But one thing, All the masters same thing. If you follow me more than 10 or 20 years, your root already focused. Your root already focused. Then you can refer other masters' teaching. You won't get confused which way I have to follow, because you have firm root. You already decide to follow this master. That means you already learned the Buddhism, follow this master, maybe 10 or 15 or 30 years already. In this case, you can.
This I fully accept. This I fully accept, Brother Liu. I fully accept what you said when you have followed a master after certain years. So we must also accept that there are different levels of people's capacity. And when we listen to a master, like what I understand from our Dhammacakka Sutra,
I can refer other master teaching. I can refer, but I won't be affected by those master saying.
Yes. Okay.
I don't affect by them.
I accept what you say, Brother Liu. Let me express my acceptance in the sense that truly, your master, you must be loyal, you must be respectful, and to him. Not only to this master, you also must respect all masters who are teaching the same Buddha Dharma. This is what I'm trying to say. All Buddha Dharma leads you to enlightenment, and if those masters are able to, if I have followed my Kuan Yin practice for 40 years. Listen, I follow for 40 years. Now I listen to Master Cheng Yen. So I appreciate Master Cheng Yen explaining of the wonderful Lotus Sutra. I listen to it morning after morning. After 40 years.
So now
am I disloyal to my master? No. I am very loyal to all masters who give the right
I accept what you say, okay?
Okay,
just now I already say, if you follow one master more than 20, 30 years, you are sure you won't affected by other teachings, then you can refer, no problem, right? But if you're not steady, you are not so firm, then better follow one master. This is correct, right? Okay, thank you so much, brothers. Thank you.
No, my answer is no. You can follow as many masters as possible, but you must always remember where your roots are for the master. So you still have freedom to follow all masters. But don't get freedom, but not don't get afflicted or follow the wrong way. That's all.
Okay, we continue. Question 4. We don't have enough time. Sorry, we don't have enough time now. Okay, question 4.
I think what is established here is that if you are firm in your roots of faith, right, that you are not going to be easily swayed by one teaching to another. By all means, as long as you are not conflicted.
Question 4. Question 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Why have 7 minutes only?
Yeah, why can't Tzu Chi Penang and KL combine their resources? Why are there different administration team and rules in one Tzu Chi in Malaysia? Many people have asked me this question.
Yeah, this is a very old question already. I already asked more than 30 years already. Okay, this is something like the Malaysia federal state, right? In one Malaysia, different state, different policy, right? Different state, different policy, because Malaysia is a federal state, right? Su Ching is a Buddhist organization, so everything is about affinity. Not only different state, different system, different country, also different type of Su Ching admin management. Malaysia Su Ching admin management different from Indonesia, different from Taiwan as well, because different country, different situation. That's why we call the skillful means. In Malaysia, we have to use this way to do the management. In Indonesia, there are so many Muslims, so they have to use the skillful to manage all the things. In Taiwan, it's totally different situation as Malaysia and Indonesia. So this is very normal thing, This is what we call skillful means. That means Su Chi school of Buddhism, which is changeable. Skillful means is Su Chi school of Buddhism. 慈济宗门呐，对不对？like the 慈济 activities, you can do it. You also can not need to do it. Up to you. This can change. You can do this activity. You can do another activity as you like, right? There's no any limit, which is changeable. However, the truth phase cannot be changed. This is what we call 进士 Dharma lineage, right? 进士 Dharma lineage we call the wisdom. 实际 school of means of the Buddhism we call the compassion. That's why in 实际我们的佛堂啊 Buddha Hall in our 进士堂 right? We have couplet on
our Dharma Hall.
Our Dharma Hall, yeah. And the beside the stage, there are two couplets. One side is 慈济中门人间路, the other one is 尽思法脉勤行道, right? One side is wisdom, one side is compassion. One side is go into the 慈济中门, 慈济 school means of Buddhism is go into crowd. 尽思 Dharma lineage is going to the sutra. Right? So these two principles are so important for us. So all the 尽思 Dharma lineage is something like the knot of the dumpling. Must always make this example like this, right? Okay, even the Penang or the Kuala Lumpur or the Sabah, KK or Sarawak or Jeddah, different area, different branch office, different people to be in charge. So different people, that means they use different way. Different way means skillful means. But as long as what they do is according to Master Ching Yen's principle, ideology, and wisdom as well, this is 尽思 Dharma lineage. This cannot change. Understand? So this is nothing. And 30 years ago, Malacca and Kuala Lumpur is at the same time started to do the Su Ching. I'm in charge of Malacca. I use my own way. Skillful means. And it depends on affinity. What can I do? I do this. I do this affinity. I do that organization. 机构关怀 helping pull everything. But the principle must be followed Taiwan. That's why Master emphasized all the Tzu Chi entire world. What they do is the Tzu Chi school for means of Buddhism. Okay, this can be changed. It's flexible. Something can do, something cannot do, up to you. But all the concept, the principle must be so many dumplings come back to the one string, one note on the top, right? So Master Ching always says so. So Penang and Kuala Lumpur also one of the dumpling, and still have other dumpling, right? See, so many dumplings, maybe 20 dumplings, right? Then they tie different string, but tied by one knot. This knot means master means Taiwan headquarters. So no problem. Penang has Penang's way to do the Tzu Chi, right? He can do the 齐圣中心的 dialysis center. The dialysis center, yeah. At the same time, I also want to do the dialysis center. At that time, when I want to quit my factory has so many space can do the dialysis center. But Master suggested me, don't do dialysis center. You can focus on the education. That's why 3 years ago, right? We have been waiting for 20 years, 20 more years. Eventually, we opened the international school in Kuala Lumpur. This is under Master Ching Yen's teaching. Otherwise, more than 25 years, I already opened a dialysis center in Malacca. But Master Ching Yen suggests me don't do that. You can focus one thing much important than dialysis center. You can focus on the education. So this from Master Ching Yen's teaching. But if I insist I want to open the dialysis center, Master Ching Yen will accept or no?
Yeah.
He will accept. Because she is so compassionate. She is so open-minded. I tell you not to do that, do it. But you still very stubborn, you want to do it. I don't mean chaos stubborn. I don't mean peanut stubborn. Okay, don't make a mistake. If I want to do the Dharma Center, I just want to do it. Although Master Ching not agree, Master Ching will bless me. He will accept. But in Master's mind, in her mind, he will think David Liu is not good, not my good disciple. He won't listen to my suggestion. All right? But if you want to listen to Master Ching teaching, then I don't do that. But penis affinity is different from Malacca. Yeah. He can do that, doesn't mean I can do as well. You understand? Some activity that branch office can do it, but this branch office cannot do it. Something like I think that more than 20 years ago, Malaysia, so many branches office, not only Malaysia, eventually extend to Indonesia, in Taiwan, other countries as well. What they do? Gong zai. Right? Gong zai. Cook vegetarian food, right? And give free to other people, right? To the shopping mall, to other temple, to everywhere, to the office, right? 是结缘嘛，共斋结缘嘛，对不对？
Yeah, sharing. Yeah,
Malaysia,
to form affinities. Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years before, everybody still remember, right? So many branch office cook the vegetarian food, so many lunch box, and send to the go to the roadside, go to the shopping mall to give the people 结好缘啊, right? But at that time, Taiwanese commissioner, they heard Master Ching always in TV to praise the Malaysia branch office. They cook the vegetarian to give other people, right? Master praise them so much. And Taiwanese commissioner, they asked Master, they say, Master, since you think this way to cook the vegetarian food to give free giving to other people, can we do it? Taiwanese commissioner, they asked Master, can we follow them to do that? Also cook vegetarian food to give other people. You know what Master said, you know? This I remember very strongly. Normally, if Master praise this country, what they do, that means we can learn from him, right? Well, we want to follow them. We want to copy them. But Master say, no. In Taiwan, commissioner say, we want to follow Malaysia to cook vegetarian food. Master say, no, different affinity. So Taiwan, we don't do that. In Taiwan, so many city commission, they can cook so many vegetarian nice food to give other people. But at that time, Master said, no, different country, different affinity. Although I praise them, doesn't mean you can follow them. You understand?
Okay, cảm ơn.
This is also a teaching of Master. Okay?
Cảm ơn.
Time is over.
Okay, thank you. Cảm ơn.
Okay, thank you very much.
For all your answers to the questions.
Okay,
raised.
See you next time.
Okay, bye-bye. See you next month. Okay, so now we will have Brother Joe to lead us into the next session. Brother Joe, the floor is yours.
Hi. Yes.
Sorry,
good morning. Good morning.
Yeah,
I was hoping that I could listen to Brother David more. Is he gone already?
Yeah, he's left.
Yeah, I think as far as I think there's another meeting. I just walked in and well, I didn't just walk in. I walked in earlier and I knew that there's a board meeting later, pre-meeting later that's going to happen. So I think that's probably the reason why he had to go so fast, so soon. But I think this is good. The QA and also everybody asking question. I think it's important. Buddhism teaches us two things. I think that I believe are at least these two things. Okay, at least these two things. One of the things is how to be reflective, right? How do you think? How do you process and how do you analyze? For example, the questions about, you know, Panan and also Kelao, and also the question about should you have one master or should you follow many different doctrines? The questions about homosexuality, the questions about all these different questions. I think at first there isn't for the Buddha's way. There's probably one part where the Buddha or a teacher or a guide will try to ask, or try to teach you to ask, or try to teach you to see the problem. So I think what Brother David is helping us is to shape the different arguments, right? Understanding that there's time involved, right? There's the past and the present, and there is also the qualification, capacity, and all these things are involved when you're looking at certain things. Maybe today you think it's okay. Maybe tomorrow you think it's not okay. And why? And I think in Buddhism, it teaches a lot about analyze, about perspective, about how to view certain things. And that's the first part, right? And then the second part comes to tell you that perhaps it's yes, or it's you should look this way. Perhaps that there is a point to look another way. Perhaps that you should continue and stay firm on the way that you're looking at things, right? So there are a couple of things that could happen. One is that the guy says, okay, continue to explore down this path. Or the guy or the teacher will tell you that you could look elsewhere, or that you should turn around or stop, right? So there are many things that could happen when your perspective begin to form. So it's Buddhism is very philosophical in that it teaches you the perspectives, but it also is spiritual because it tells you that you should have certain values about certain perspectives. Okay, so I think Brother David in the first hour for us is exactly doing that, right? Giving us different perspectives. There are things that you might not be thinking about. Now you are becoming aware of. For example, talking about the past lifetime, talking about how certain past affinities affect where we are, who we are, what we do right now. And from that perspective, perhaps when we're thinking about the different sexual orientation or who we are, our sexuality, perhaps when we think about that, we don't quite think about what the past had led us here. We probably don't think about that as much, as often. And the perspective that we are added, right? Our perspective is now broader, is now greater, right? Is that now that we see different things, now that we see from different perspectives, okay? And then the next part, Brother David allows us and guides us into thinking, well, according to this particular view, then what we should do, okay? According to this particular view, we should do this. And so I think that is what the QA also always brings for us, is that even if you are not the person that is engaged in this particular discussion, right? Maybe your children, right? You are not the person that's asking the question, or you are not the person that is experiencing the same trouble that the person that was asking was. But you know, and you can begin to reflect about this, okay? And that is, let me go in a little bit deeper. That is our school of understanding, right? That's our school of teaching. And that's why Brother David always says, goes into the crowd, goes into the masses, because in there, you are going to find a lot of situations that you yourself might not be in yet, or will not be in, or have not been in. But because of the people around, you, that you get this, I don't want to say the front row seating, right, in the movie. No, I don't want to say that because it's not a show. but you get a very clear view of things, of the perspectives of the people that are engaged in this conversation and engaged in this very real activity. And they're having issues, they're having questions. And then you get to ask, well, what if it were me? Would I do the same? What if it were me? What is my perspective? And how would I choose? I think this is the very, very important thing. So for all of you, whether you're listening on YouTube or whether you're listening in Zoom, for all of you, whether you have this problem or you don't have this problem, or you don't realize or you don't see this as a problem, all the things that you heard today, or even in all the QAs, it brings you this perspective that you yourself, whether you were in it before or you are out of it already, or you're not there, or you don't think it's a problem, whatever your background is, you get a perspective. That's only the first part, right? Only the first part. Buddhism, like I said, Buddha and also master, they're master at what? Philosophy. They're very good at looking at things from so many different perspectives. There are many perspectives to look at everything, right? Many, many different perspectives. That's only the first part. Master guides you and leads you to see the different perspectives. And then, after you have seen many, and perhaps even chose a particular perspective that fits you or that you believe is the best one, then Master will, according to your capacity, according to what you need, will give you the particular guide and direction. However, is that medicine, is that guide and direction work for everybody? No, it doesn't. You can't take the medicine you get here today for you, your body, your physique, your everything, and then you say, well, this is true for everybody else. However, even though that is the case, is there a general direction? There is a general direction that is hopeful for everybody, right? You hope to be harmonized. You hope that there is no quarrel. You hope that there is no affliction. That is the general direction. However, that the same medicine isn't true and won't be true for everybody. Yet at the very end, when we are on the same, when we're back to the same path, then it is hoping that we all follow the same path. So there are many things that are obviously in conflict, right? It's called paradox. It's called, well, if you say this, then how can you have this? Well, that is the whole point. That's why you need all the different perspectives, and then somebody to help you and say, bring everything along and then become one only. Now, having said that, so what is the one? Well, I think it ties in very perfectly with what we have been talking about. Lotus Sutra skillful means in chapter 2. I think after all the teachings have gone out, after all the 40 years plus, even longer, right? According to the later parts of the chapter, Buddha has been around, and the teachings, there's no beginning, there's no end, and therefore has been teaching us for ages and ages, for different lifetimes. And so the teaching never stops. So there were so many ways to teach you. There's so many things to tell you, right? So it tells you that, when a person is cold, give him blanket. When a person is hungry, give him food. But if we are only listening to the part of giving a blanket, help them, give them a blanket, help them, give them food, then we take this and then we give a blanket to a person who is hungry, and we give the food to a person who is very cold. Does that still work? Well, it's still okay. It's still helping them, but it won't help them as much. And what the teacher believes is that we miss the point. We look at what we do, but we missed the analyze part, or we analyze it, but we miss the important part. So it sounds very easy, but when it comes to perspectives, when it comes to views of things, it becomes very, very hard. That is why in the Saha world, it is so difficult. Because if it were easy, then we would all be Buddhas already. But we're not, because we still hold those views. And that's what this chapter was hoping to tell us. Lotus Sutra, after the engagement and interaction between with everybody, right? That in the previous hour, that we get to see that there are different perspectives, there are different views, right? The people asking questions are going to have their views too, right? They're going to think about, we're not the ones having these issues, so we don't have that strong view. And Sister KP mentioned, right, that we okay, so I sort of forgot what was mentioned, but I lost that train of thoughts. But the most important thing is that the parents of those the parents that asked that question, they are in that situation, and they might think, I'm not saying that they will be, right? They might be thinking that, why is this happening to me? This is such an awful thing to happen to me. We don't have that same feeling, right? We're not on that boat. We're not on there. So it's hard for us to get that. Oh, right. Empathy, right? You mentioned empathy, empathetic. And that's very different. That's very difficult. How do you feel the pain when you're not the one being cut? How do you feel the sorrow when it's somebody else's story, right? So I think that's what the whole thing is that it gives you this perspective. And for those of you who have experienced it before, or for those of you who are very empathetic, you will learn a lot more, because you will be able to see from their perspective and then be able to ask yourself the same question. What if it were me? What would I choose? So like I said, it's very important to as a student of philosophy, it's very important to be able to see many, many philosophies. That's the first part, right? To be able to have arguments, to be able to argue in different perspectives, while not losing the harmony, while not saying that I must be right and you must be wrong. That is only the first part, to be able to dissect things, to be able to see things, to be able to take it apart and see the little things. However, the next part is very important. The next part is, so what does the teacher say? That is important. What does the teacher say? And sometimes the teacher doesn't say out of her mouth or out of words. What does the teacher do? Okay, so that's why, while it's very important to understand what the master says, and that's what I do, right? I use master's teaching, okay, but I rarely, unless it's a decision that I need to make, but I rarely say, well, go ask what master says, okay, because it's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's what Brother David mentioned, that there are things that master will and will not say, but it doesn't mean that. So there are different processes that goes involved in all this. Anyway, so I want to come back to the Lotus Sutra. In chapter 2 of the sutra, I think we are witnessing the very, very same event. In that, if we all remember in the first chapter, what happened in the first chapter, right? You have the most amazing display of wondrous, right? You have you have two disciples who have been there for a long time, and Manjushri was able to answer all the questions. Yet there are others, even after being, certain things being answered, there are others still having doubts about, are you sure? Are you for real? Is this really what the Buddha said, right? So even for someone who had seen the 20,000, the moonlight, the sun, moon, lamp Buddha of the past, he had to bring out a lot of his past experiences to share with all that this is what's happening. You see all the wondrous things happen that people didn't understand why. And then you have someone who had the experience and share what had happened, right? So that was chapter 1. For those of you who probably who already read through chapter 1 because it's been out for a long time, and we have many book studies in the past about chapter 1. This is pretty much it. It goes through the stories. It goes through all the phenomenons, all the wondrous phenomenons, right? You have the flowers falling from the sky. You have the earth tremors, the shaking of the earth and the shaking of the world. And then you have the Buddha out of the eyebrows, shooting out the lights. Okay, all these things that I cannot possibly explain, but it happened. That was written in the sutra. It happened. And then you have Manjushri Bodhisattva, who was explaining that why this is all happening. And this is all happening. Why? Because that something very important is coming up. Something very important is happening afterwards. And all this is happening when the Buddha was in samadhi. The Buddha was meditating. The Buddha was in it's not trance, but the Buddha was meditating. The Buddha wasn't saying anything. The Buddha was just sitting still, meditating or whatnot. We don't know. But from the outside, it was just still. And that was what happened in chapter 1. Okay. So the chapter 1, it was a conversation. It was a question and answer. And the question was, well, why is this happening? And the answer was, well, this has been happening for many, many times. For all the Buddhas of the past, every time that the Buddha want to say something very important, and that's the Lotus Sutra, this happens. So I'm telling you, what's going to happen afterwards is something very, very important. Okay, that's what the Buddha, that's what Manjushri was saying. Then we go into the second chapter, the Sutra, Lotus Sutra chapter 2, which is skillful means. That's when the Buddha comes out of the meditation. That's when the Buddha opens the mouth and began talking for the very first time in Lotus Sutra. The Buddha did not speak at all in the first chapter, but the Buddha began speaking in chapter 2. And at this time, I'm sure all of us, if we were there, we must be wondering what the Buddha was going to say, right? What was the Buddha going to say? Imagine you have two people conversing, right? Like who I am right now. I was just there, and I listened. I listened to Brother David, and I listened to the interaction, and I saw all the questions, right? And now, if I were the master, then I'm sure everybody wanted to hear. Everybody wanted to hear. Well, master, then what do you think is right? Master, do you think Brother David was right in his explanation? Right? Everybody wanted to know more. Same thing. What would you think would be the number one question in the mind of the disciple when the Buddha came out of meditation and began talking in chapter 2? If I were there, I would be asking, Buddha, did you know that your eyebrow shoots out light rays? Did you know that? You're meditating, but we saw that. I would be asking, was it really 20,000 past sun, moon, lamp, Buddha, radiant Buddha of the past? I want to ask, was Manjushri really one of the teachers in the past? Because those were all things that were said in the first chapter. And if I were the disciple there, I would be asking all these questions. I would be asking, Buddha, where did you go? You were in the meditation after the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. Where did you go? Did you go to other places? Did you see where, all the things that we just saw? Those were the things that I wish Buddha would say. Would you not? If you were in attendance to see all the things that happened to see all the things that happened beforehand, what would you be asking? Wouldn't you have the same question? Why was Manjushri had to stand up and answer? Why? Because people had doubts, because the disciples weren't sure what they're seeing. And then you have Manjushri come up and answer these questions. But even after he says so, would you still have questions? Yes. Why? Because you would still rather hear it from the Buddha, right? That's normal. For me, it's the same. So I'm following this. If we were there, if I was in attendance, which I believe I was, if we were there, seeing all the things that happened in the first chapter, right? Let's think back about what happens in chapter 1. All the things that happen that cannot be explained. All the things that happen that are so wondrous and never happened before. That's why you have someone coming up there to explain to people why. Yet, for all those people that are listening, obviously, like I said, I believe I was there. I believe. But I also forgot, and I had no recollection. If I was there, then how come I don't remember what happened in the past Buddha when I was there? Even though I believe, but I don't know what happened. So someone was there to explain that you and you and you, I were all there, and this is what happened. So for me, I tend to believe that I was there too, but I don't know what happened. So I need you to help me figure out what happened. I need you to help me look back and remember what happened. Yet, even if you told me so, I still want to hear it from the Buddha, right? Same thing. Even if you agree with me, or even if you disagree with me. If you agree with me, I would like to hear Buddha comes out of meditation and tell you that, Manjushri was absolutely right. There were 20,000 sun, moon, lamp, radiant Buddha that before me, and this is what happened, right? You would like to hear that. And if you disagree with him, you would like the Buddha to come out and say he was right or he was wrong, right? That's what we want. But in chapter 2, after all the things that had happened, after all the things in chapter 1 had happened, the Buddha finally spoke. What did he say? Did he answer? Did he follow what Manjushri was saying? Did he say that, yes, 20,000 Buddhas in the past, they all had the same name? Did he concur? Did he explain why the earth was moving? Why the tremor, 六种震动, the 6 tremors? Did he explain? No. Did he explain the light coming out of the between the forehead and the eyebrow? No. Why? Because that is not what the Buddha wanted to tell you. That is us, what we wanted to ask. And that is why in this chapter, that's why very first chapter, in this chapter, I think that Buddha said that the Buddha came to this world for one great reason. Now, Master explained this. The one great reason to come to this world was to teach the Bodhisattva path. In the sutra, it's stated that Buddha says coming to this world was to show, 开示悟入, is to show and open the path. And then so everybody can understand and be awakened to this path and come into this and walk this path. What does that mean? And not only that, but in this chapter, it also mentioned that the Buddha comes into this world to open, to show, to have everybody awaken and to walk into this path. And this is the path that the Buddha holds dear in his heart, because he knows that until we're ready, when he shares this intention, shares this teaching, we would not be ready. And that's what this chapter is talking about. So finally, in the beginning of this chapter, the Buddha did not there was first no one asking, and the Buddha did not cater to what our questions were. He began by saying what he believed. This wasn't anybody's question, right? No one asked. No one asked all these questions, even though it was in our mind. Buddha did not. Buddha knew what we would be thinking, but Buddha knows to not go into there. I'm just going to tell you what I think. I've taught everybody all the perspectives, all the studies you can look at, but I'm going to tell you what I believe, and I'm going to tell you what you all need to know. And that's Lotus Sutra chapter 2. What is it? It tells you that you're all not going to understand. This teaching, the wisdom is so deep and profound that you're all not going to understand. Why? Because if you continue to work this way, if you continue to be so difficult, then, and I'm not saying at perspectives, I'm talking about if the habits are so die hard, then it's not going to work. We must figure out a way to change. We must figure out a way to engage in what we're doing. Even if you believe what you believe is so strong and what you believe is so true. Imagine that Buddha was talking to these disciples. You know, we're talking about Shariputra. We're talking about all the great disciples. But Buddha was saying, all of you, you're not going to get there unless there's a change, unless we make changes. So in chapter 2, it talks about tools for us to change. It doesn't tell you, it tells you what you need to change too. But I think in the broader sense, it gives you the tools to figure out, how do you even know that you're right? You are so firm in your belief, but how do you know you're right? So the tools are there to help you self-diagnose, right? You have the antigen kit, right? You poke into your nose and then it comes out and it tells you 1 bar or 2 bars. 1 bar means you're okay. 2 bars means you're not okay. So how do you know that you're right? Well, there's a test kit. And now, well, what do you need to do if there's 1 bar or there's 2 bars? Well, then there are SOPs after that. That's what this chapter is about. So this is a very good display of what we see. A very good display today, the engagement and the conversation and the interaction. And not just the verbal interaction. I'm talking about spiritual. I'm talking about mental interactions, right? I'm sure when somebody asks that question and you hear it, this is not your problem, but you know the problem. So that is when we begin to feel, right? You begin to feel empathetic. You begin to be in that person's shoes. You begin to ask questions. That's the first step, right? And then the next step, you're beginning to shape the particular direction. You're beginning to understand. And the more you interact with people, the more experience you have in understanding why you chose a certain way. And when you form that, eventually that path will be you'll be following that particular path. And then they will become one day in here, chapter 2, you will be confronted with a decision. Your guy and your teacher is going to tell you something, and you're going to say, I don't believe you. It's going to happen. And then you're going to say, well, I don't believe you. I'm going to give you back my badge. I don't believe you anymore. That's what this chapter is telling you, that we're doing something so good and smoothly one day. And eventually one day, there might be a time when what you think you believe is going to be in the clash with what everybody else says. Then what's going to happen? This chapter tells you, teaches you, and gives you the tools to once again self-diagnose, to once again make sure that the path that we're going is correct. Because how do you know, right? You can ask questions. And if judging from what Brother David said, and what I also believe, that when you ask the question, the answers you get is for you, but it might not be matching for everybody else. Then what do you do? How do you confirm? How do you convince other people? How do you persuade other people? It's very difficult. So that's why chapter 2, Buddha said 3 times, said no 3 times, because he understood that if you said it too fast, then people would just be like, I don't believe you. Okay, so the hardest part Why was there even all these chapters? Because it's hard for us to change our perspectives and views because you believe them to be so right. So this chapter teaches us to self-reflect. So I think it's very good for the QAs, you know, especially for us when we're not in this problem, you get a clearer picture. But don't just let it go by and say, oh yeah, it's his problem, their problem, or he's wrong, he's right. But look into yourself. What would you think? And then next time you listen to the master talk, listen to the deeper part, not just the story, but deeper. Do you see and do you hear the answers calling out to you? Okay, it's very philosophical, but that's what this is, right? Philosophical in seeing the problem, and then spiritual in answering the question. And I think that's very important. Okay, so that's what Buddhism gives you, both parts. Okay, so I took too much time to explain, to share with you what I feel, and it's very matching to chapter 2. Don't you think that it's exactly what, you know, it's exactly what chapter 2 is saying? It's exactly this, right? You think that people should be answering to some very, very glaring big issues of the world. And then the master will just, you know, come into the meeting and says, why are you so bothered with this? You should be focusing on this. That's what chapter 2 does, right? You have all the wondrous things happen. And guess what happened? Buddha didn't answer to any of that. Buddha focused on the things that we should be focusing on. And that was only the opening statement. We haven't even gone through the heart of the chapter 2, but that's what happened. So many things, many times when we're focused on all the problems that we have, sometimes Buddha will just lead you, listen to you, and give you guidance. Sometimes the Buddha will just say, well, stop. Let's look at that problem. That's bigger. That's more important. Okay. So something to share with everybody. Once again, I enjoy and I take every opportunity to be diligent, to be a wonderful ways of learning. Okay. Learning. Once again, right or wrong, but very important, self-reflection and learning. What do you learn from this? Is he always wrong? Am I always right? What do you learn from this? There are so many reasons in the background that you don't see. It's so easy to just come to one conclusion. He's good and that is bad. It's so easy. So what does the Buddha teaches us? Did he teach us that way or what? The deeper sense of everything. And I think we haven't gotten there yet. So thank you, everybody. And thanks to Sister KP for always helping us through, and you're wonderful in you know, when Brother David is running out of vocabulary, you're always there to say, it's this, and I think it's very important, the continuity, you know, to link up. I'm sure there were English speakers who needed that, and I'm sure many of you, if you're bilingual, you understand what Brother David is saying, and it's always good, you know, you have the language fluidity, and then you have someone who spiritually understands all these things and be able to connect all this. So thank you, and take too much time, sorry, and we'll see each other next week.
Thank you, Brother Joe. It's always so enjoyable listening to you, and my takeaway today is, you know, don't get drowned in noises. Yeah, self-reflect and learn, you know, what we actually have to focus in. Thank you so much. And thank you, brothers and sisters, for taking time to attend to Brother David's Q&A and also Brother Joe's sharing. So let us now pay homage to the Triple Gem and Master. We can invite Brother Joe to lead us to do that. Let us stand and put our palms together. First bow. Second bow. And third bow. And also a bow to the Sifu at the abode who can join us today. Kat-en, brothers and sisters, see you all next Saturday. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Sister Kaping.
Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let us take a picture, yeah? Brother Robert, would you like to do that?
Okay.
Yeah, I've taken one. Thank you so much.
Hey, great.
And bye-bye. See you next Saturday.
Bye-bye.